Hello YouTube, I'm bringing you my first ever deck profile. I've been wanting to build one or make a deck profile for a while, but I've never really had the motivation to. I've been sitting at home for like the past hour now and haven't had anything to do, so I decided to finally do it. Today it's going to be heroes. I'm a big hero player. Even in this new format, I found them very playable. I've been to a couple regional tournaments. I haven't topped yet. I went 5-3-1, and I ended up losing my last match, which kind of sucked because if I would have won it, I would have been in the top 50 and been going to nationals. And another one I went 4-2 and ended up leaving because I just had other stuff I had to do that day. But we're going to kick off the deck profile right away with Triple Alias. I mean, he's your tech card of the deck. You got to run him. He's your 1900 beater, Gemini monster. Just got to have him. Next is your Bubble Man. Those are the only two hero monsters I run. Bubble Man for that special summon, overlay, whatever you need it for, Miracle Fusion, draw power if you end up top decking him, favorite card to top deck. That's it for the heroes. Yeah. I also run 2 DD Warrior Lady. I love this card. I was running Thrashers for a while instead, but this card just was so much more helpful. I could set it, they attack into it, I banish their monster, they get really pissed off, I'm happy. Just great. I can summon it, just tack into something and get rid of it. Doesn't target, so it works really well. I run a Thunder King. It doesn't allow either play to search, which kind of hurts you a little bit because you need to find your cards sometimes. But if you have this guy in the field, you probably have field control already, so it's not that big of a deal. And then you get to negate a special summon, so it's great. And then my last monster is Honest. To be completely fair, it's a great card, but it doesn't run that well in this deck because the card I have in the field most is Shining, and Shining's already at 3200 attack, like, because I banished 2 heroes to get him out most of the time. 3200, I mean, not much is attacking over that. Sometimes it was useful when I had Thunder King on the field, but, I mean, I'm probably going to end up taking it out. I just don't know what I want to take out and put in yet. I mean, it hasn't really hurt the deck at all. Sometimes it sucks when you're trying to get your Alias and Bubble Man plays off, but overall, I mean, it hasn't hurt, so I'm leaving it in for now. Onto the spells. I run triple E-Call because you got to get your heroes. I run a Rhoda. I mean, basically another E-Call, but it works even better because you can search out your DD Warrior Ladies if you need them. And then it's a hero deck, so obviously you're running triple Miracle Fusion. If you're not, you're doing something wrong. You should really look at more profiles and just try new things. Next card is Mass Change. I've seen people run 2. It's good at 2. I love 3. I've never had a problem drawing Mass Change. If it's a dead card in my hand, it's not a big deal because I'll eventually draw Bubble Man. I'll get one back, and I don't mind waiting for it because as soon as I get this back, I blow up all the back row. I get a 2600 beater on the field. It's just worth it. Next card is Super Polymerization. I run 3 of them. I've seen a lot of decks run 1 or 2, and they say it's cloggy. I've never really had a problem with it clogging up my hand because if I do draw 2, I can just activate 1, discard the second one, and it's not a big deal. And it was just an easy card to discard. I was playing against Harpies, and they went and summoned Dracossack, and after they'd gotten their 2 tokens on the field, my next turn I went and super polyed their Dracossack. They ended up calling a judge over because they thought the card was too OP because it doesn't target, gets rid of everything. There's really nothing that can stop it except for that synchro monster that's called like Unicorn or something like that. And the only reason that works is because it doesn't activate. It's a continuous effect that allows it to negate. But yeah, it's just a great card. It's what makes this deck so playable right now. My next card is Gemini Spark. I run 2 because I run 3 Alias, and I don't want to be drawing more Gemini Sparks than I am Aliases. But great card. I mean, when you have this in your hand, there's nothing better than them trying to bottomless your Alias, because then you just tribute him, destroy another card that they have, and you get to draw one, and so it's really not a problem at all. It's actually like helps you out in the game a lot when they do that. Next is just Dark Hole. I mean, it's card you basically run in most decks. I run 2 MSTs just in case my Acid isn't getting his effect off for some reason. Whether there's like a skill drain on the field or whether they Fiendish Chain him, I can, if they do Fiendish Chain right to the summon, I can chain this to it, and then Acid still gets his effect. Otherwise, if they just have one card in their back row, I can just MST it quick so I know I have a clear field to set up on. And then I run 2 Duality just because there's certain cards that I need, and I need to get them quickly. Like if you have an Alias in your hand and nothing to really back him up, you can Duality and hopefully get that Gemini Spark or something else to help you out. I've never had a problem with it because most of the time I'm special summoning during my opponent's turn, whether it's with Mass Change or if it's Super Polymerization. Most of the time it's during my opponent's turn, so that's it for the spells. Next is your trap cards. We have our Torrential Tribute, Staples, Solemn Warning, Compulse, Bottomless. I mean, most decks run them. I mean, I don't have a reason for taking them out. Great cards. I run 2 Mirror Forces. Gotta protect my guys. Great card. Destroys all attack position monsters. I don't know what else you could ask for. I run 2 Hero Blasts. Gets my Alias back from the graveyard. Destroys a monster. And now I have another card in my hand. So, I mean, it's really helpful. I love it when I have a monster on the field. And I have Hero Blast set. And I have a Super Poly set. And no monsters in my hand. Because they think they're safe from Super Poly then. And then I can Hero Blast and add Alias back to my hand. And I destroy one of their monsters. And now I have a card in my hand that makes Super Poly alive again. Love it. It works really well. I had it at 3 for a while. Started to get a little cloggy because I was banishing my Aliases a lot. Last card is Skill Drain. Card is so great. Shuts down probably 80% of decks right now. It's playing Raccoon decks. I got this on the field first turn, and then they ended up stalling for 10 turns because they couldn't draw an MST. They literally could not play their deck. I love the card. I main 2 right now. Once I find the 3rd, I'm going to side it, but Skill Drains are kind of hard to come by for some reason right now, and I don't feel like buying them. But I love the card, so it's in my deck. Next is our extra deck. I run 2 Shinings, because if you play the deck correctly, you really don't need a 3rd, and you're already running out of extra deck space. So I run 2 of them. It works out well. If I get one on the field, I banish Alias and Bubbleman 90% of the time. When he's destroyed, add those 2 back to my hand. When I draw my next Miracle Fusion, I banish him, and then I get the second one on the field. When this one goes to the graveyard, I cycle this one back to the extra deck, and it creates a loop, and your opponent gets really pissed off quickly because they can't get rid of it. And then for my Super Poly targets, and I sometimes Miracle into him just because I need to clear the field quickly, but most of the time it's Super Poly. I got my Zero, Gaia, Escradao, Great Tornado, and Nova Master. To be honest, my least favorite out of them are these 2, because Gaia is pretty much worthless. When I'm getting him on the field, it's just to get rid of something, and he's only got 2200 attack, and his effect is only for 1 turn, and so he doesn't last long. The next one is Nova Master. I originally thought his effect would be really good, but the only time I get to use him is against Fire Fists, and they end up just popping him right away, so I never get his effect. Or else I'm attacking directly, and then his effect doesn't activate. Still worth it, getting rid of their cards. Next, I run 2 Acids and a Vapor for my Mass Change targets. Thought about running 3 Acids, but the Vapor is helpful sometimes, and I've never really needed to blow up their back row 3 times, so I stick with that. 2 Acids and a Vapor works well. Yeah, and then next on to the Exceeds. We got your Blade Armor Ninja, great for the OTKs, and Excalibur. Favorite play right now, works first turn a lot. I get a Miracle Fusion, and I get my Alias, and my Bubble Man. And I'm sure most of you have seen this play before, but for those of you who are new to Heroes, want to make sure you know this. You have Alias on the field, or you summon Alias, you set Miracle Fusion. special summon Bowman. Make sure to do it in defense position, because I have had times where I special summon in an attack position and they Book of Moon my alias, and so I have this card just sitting out here like this, and it's an 800 attack guy, and they'll just attack over right away. So try and do it in defense position. Unless they have a clear field, there's really no reason to summon attack position. Then you overlay them. If it's first turn, you don't have a monster in the graveyard already, so you want to do Excalibur, and you detach these two. These now at 4,000. You activate Miracle Fusion, banish them, special summon Shining. If they have no response to any of this, you're doing 7,200 damage this turn. And then all you have to do is go into a Gaga Cowboy to finish the game off. You get this playoff, and most time you win it. But okay, so that's it for one of the plays. I run Crazy Box because your opponent's already pissed off when you get skill drain on the field, and then you overlay for Crazy Box, and they get even more angry because now you have a 3,000 beater on the field that's not supposed to be able to attack. Love it. Just recently put it in, never taken it out. Gaga for game finishers, and I have Black Shift. It's been working well. I plan on taking it out if I can find an Honor Arc, but I don't feel like dropping $45 for an Honor Arc right now. It's working well. On to the side deck. We'll start off with the Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. Works well with any zombie deck. And Dark World shuts them down pretty quickly. They can't get the graveyard effects off. And then Light Sworns, or Light Imprisoning for Light Sworns. Bujins, Constellars, it works well. Stops all their effects. Royal Decree for Harpies. Whenever they're about to get that, activate that card that lets them special summon like infinity monsters from the graveyard, you just chain Royal Decree. They go -1. They now can't activate trap cards. It works really well. Deep Prisons, believe it or not, I have been put in mirror matches, and the only way to really come over the top of it is to banish their Shining first, so that you can get your plays off and they can't get theirs. And it works really well. Also with Dark Worlds, if they expect their Grapha to get blown up like 600 times because he's just going to keep coming back and they really don't care. But if you deep prison him, they only have 3 of them, so they're going to start running out of plays real quickly. I side my third MST. I plan on taking it out as soon as I can find a third skill drain. Once I do, this thing's pretty much gone. I don't need it, but it's there for now. I got 2 Prohibitions. I've sided in a lot, and it's been pretty helpful actually. I mean, you just Prohibition their main card, and until they MST this, you have a huge advantage on the field. But then as soon as they do get this gone, or they get this off the field via MST, whatever it is, they get their big plays off, and it causes a lot of damage quickly. So you want to try and win while this is still on the field. I run 2 Lances for when I have Royal Decree on the field. If I side that in, I side out a lot of my trap cards because I won't get to use them anyway. So I put these in, and they work well. And then for any deck that's special summoning like crazy, you got your Maxis. I mean, I've been put up against like Raccoon decks or whatnot, and they start special summoning, they Obedient School, whatever it is, Rekindling. You activate this, and they have to keep their plays going because their guys are going to die at the end of the phase. So they have to keep going. You get to draw like 6 cards, and then if they can't win in that turn, you now have a refilled hand. So it's been a great side-in. I've used it probably 4 or 5 times, and every time I've used this, I've won the match except for one time, and that's because he finished me off that turn. Like I said, this was my first deck profile. If you guys have any advice for me, I'd love to hear it. You can leave a comment in the comment section. If you like my video and you want more, please subscribe. I'd love to hear your opinions. Thanks a lot, YouTube.